What is going on, everybody? You are back. My name is Justin. This is another episode of Arrowhead Action on the Kansas City Sports Company YouTube page. So, it's been a little bit of time here before since we've been back, and it's because we had a little technical difficulties. I recorded a full show last week, and because of my own fault, I did not record anything. So I did an entire show doing no recording. But we're back this week, and I got something fun planned. Going to do a best ball draft here on Underdog. It's a Puppy 2 draft, $5 entry. If you've never done these before, they're a lot of fun. And if you're here, it's probably because you like them and you know what they are. So we're going to get going with it. As you can see, I got the 9 hole. Pretty much feels like I'm getting screwed by Underdog here because I feel like it's the only spot I get is 7 through 10. But it is what it is. We'll make it work. Last show, talked a lot about Deandre Hopkins. So we'll talk about that as we go. Whether or not he is going to be a Kansas City Chief at some point, or is he going to be a Buffalo Bill at some point? Those seem to be the leaders in the clubhouse, but I don't think there's going to be any decision made on that anytime soon. So it's going to be a fun thing to monitor this offseason. And obviously it has pretty big implications for especially for those two teams where he goes. But let's get this draft going. Hopefully we'll be able to get a full one in for the show. Should be able to. Usually take about 45 minutes or so, depending on how quick people like to draft. Let's see. You got AJ Brown going at pick 2. A little bit of a surprise there. Going a little bit ahead of ADP, which, that's fine. I think that he's probably trying to set up a little bit of a Jalen Hurts stack coming back in round 2, which would make a lot of sense. Get Cooper Kupp here following to the 5th pick, which is right around where he is being drafted. And man, there's a part of me that, and I think I'm not the only one that thinks that there he goes at the 6th spot right after Tyreek Hill, that he could have a monster season just on pure volume alone. And that's what is king, obviously, in fantasy sports, and especially in DFS and best ball. We're always looking for the volume. So we're up here. CeeDee Lamb just went. I'm going to go Stephon Diggs. Diggs, obviously, number 1 option in Buffalo. Right now, there's not really much competition. I don't think 4 targets. You obviously have Gabe Davis coming back, but Diggs is still going to be the guy there, even if Hopkins gets signed. Could be interesting to see if you do get Hopkins signing there, kind of what happens with his target share, whatever. It also makes it interesting if you start drafting Hopkins in a Bills stack just in case he does sign with the Bills. But the Bills also did just sign Leonard Floyd, and they gave Ed Oliver a massive extension, which did free up some cap space for him this year. So I don't know what they're going to do with that money. I mean, like I said, Floyd, they keep investing in the defensive line. Floyd was already signed and already in OTAs today. They had him with his helmet and jersey on. So up here in one more pick, and man, receivers seem to be flying off the board in this draft room. Already kind of getting ugly. I'm going to be good with either Amon-Ra, who just goes. So I'm going to go Chris Olave. Olave's been getting a ton of steam lately on Twitter, I've noticed. I think it was, who was it? Not Garian. Chris Meany, maybe? I want to say that tweeted it out that Olave, or he asked who was the only receiver that was top 10 in air yards, and ADOT. And I think that answer was Chris Olave. So pretty impressive for a rookie. There was some pictures today of Derek Carr and Michael Thomas talking at OTAs, which I guess, just seeing Michael Thomas in a practice uniform for Saints fans is probably a little bit of an added bonus considering where he's been the past few years. So I think Olave is a good pick, especially where I got him at. So far, the 9 spot, got Diggs, got Olave. We're up again in 10 picks. It seems to be a pretty wide receiver heavy room so far. Maybe some more running backs starting to go now. Nick Chubb at 21, Tony Pollard at 23. All the three big name quarterbacks still on the board: Mahomes, Hurts, Allen. These guys have been seeing a little bit of a fall in ADP as of late, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, if we can get Allen to fall all the way back, to me that would be awesome. And there goes Mahomes and Hurts as I say that. So take a look at the board here, see what teams are doing. So we got Buster Boys going RBRB, which is an interesting start. Here's that AJ Brown Hurts stack I was talking about with the Cowboys bring back. And there goes Josh Allen to Buster Boys. So not getting a Bill stack today. So Hurts and Allen and Mahomes all in the start of the third round, which is a little bit later than what their ADP has been as of late, which some good podcasts out there just talking about that. You can go check those out, go find those on your own. But we're up here again in a few picks. Got Mark Andrews coming off the board. Guys still on the board looking for me: Breece Hall, Calvin Ridley, Lamar Jackson, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Travis Etienne, and there's that DeAndre Hopkins name that we were just talking about, who is still a free agent as of this moment. So I'm up in one pick. Boy, I do not like anybody that I'm seeing here, to be honest with you. I'm going to go a little off the board here, and I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs. Recently, I've been taking a lot of Calvin Ridley, and I just don't want to do that again. I think it's too early for DeAndre Hopkins. If he's there when they come back, I might snatch him up. But Gibbs is a nice option in Detroit. Obviously, it was kind of the stun of draft night when he was taken 12th overall, I believe it was, by the Lions. But when a team uses that much draft capital on him, you got to think that they're going to use him. They traded DeAndre Swift away. They did sign David Montgomery, but Gibbs has a very different skill set that Montgomery does as far as a pass catching ability. So, and really, there's not many receiving options the first few weeks for the Lions outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown. With the Jameson Williams suspension, we see maybe DeAndre Hopkins. He's another one potentially could do that. So D-Hop does fall, and I'm gonna take him. Even though we don't have the Bill stack, or the quarterback at least to go with him, for some reason, he does end up going maybe even to the Lions. Now I got a stacked up there. We could end up getting a Jared Goff stacked late, who I like at the quarterback position. If it goes to Buffalo, we have two of the main receivers there. So none of that is a bad thing. Let's take a look at the board here, see what's going on, see where teams are going. So here, Tex Ballas starts with Eckler, goes through your straight receivers. So as you can see here, kind of myself, Tex Ballas, and Austin Vanner all going pretty receiver heavy, only one running back there. D'Lo Jason, all receivers except for Lamar in the mix. So it looks like he's going to 0 RB build out of the 12 spot. DZA Mora 523, another guy. Receivers, one running back. B Grandy 17, all receivers, one running back. So pretty heavy wide receiver room, like I was saying. A lot of receivers have gone here in the top 4 rounds. Going to make it interesting coming back to see who's on the board here when we get up. Let's take a look. We're coming up here in a few picks. 4 picks away. As you can imagine, the running board room is pretty ugly at this point. Pretty ugly. We're 3 picks away. We got TJ Hawkinson, Justin Herbert, Michael Pittman, Joe Mixon, J.K. Dobbins, George Kittle, all on the board still. Oh, boy. Pretty gross. Forgive me, I haven't memorized the Week 17 matchups. Yeah, I want to say Detroit and Minnesota play. No, Minnesota Green Bay play. I was thinking maybe TJ Hawkinson, get a little correlation there. Detroit and Dallas is who plays. Week 17. Obviously, if you're a best ball player, you know why that's important. Championship. Want the correlation. I like if Hawkinson's on the board here, but sounds like he's gonna Gelt 316 times out again. Oh, he must have this thing set. I'm gonna take TJ Hawkinson. I have not gotten much exposure to TJ Hawkinson, so that does another thing. Kirk Cousins is another late round quarterback that I don't mind stacking up, especially if you have his tight end. I always think it's whenever you can stack the quarterback and tight end together, it makes sense. I also have no exposure to Hawkinson in any of the drafts I've done, just kind of the way it's fallen. So I'm happy to get that exposure there. Up again in 2 picks as it wraps around here. And I think we could absolutely set up a little bit of a Minnesota stack here and then go Jordan Addison. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to throw Kirk Cousins in the queue. So far, Jamar Gibbs is the only running back on the roster. Then we got Stephon Diggs, Chris Olave, DeAndre Hopkins, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson. Obviously, you get the Minnesota stack without Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is pretty consistently going as the first overall pick, as you can imagine, and I did not have that. I had the 9th pick. So, but I like where this is setting up. Coming back around in 13 or so picks, we're going to have some options, see what they got. Maybe be able to find some correlation with the Packers. As I mentioned, they play them Week 17, which is your championship week, which is always a good thing to try to stack up, of course. And of course, you all know that. See if anything's interesting going on with these teams. A lot of the teams are surrounding me. The 8, 9, 10 guys. None of us have taken a quarterback yet. I'm looking like I'm the only one with one running back out of those 3. Let's see, Aaron Jones is going up here. He'd have been a nice little interesting pick. Obviously, his ADP is too high for that, though, to correlate with Addison and Hawkinson. Obviously, we got D-Shack here going Going to Burrow Higgins stack with a Travis Kelce bring back for the classic week 17 look there. I really, when all is said and done, I'm going to be, when all the drafting's over and the season starts, I'm going to be interested across all formats for the puppies, the big ball manias, or best ball manias. I'm going to be interested to see how many Bengals Chiefs stack there are, whether it's fully stacked with the quarterback, whether it's just pieces correlated together, because that is a super popular game at this point, obviously, for good reason, right? For good reason. So we're up at 4 picks. Got Kadarius Toney, Alexander Madison. It's another little Minnesota piece there. Gabe Davis, Isaiah Pacheco, Darren Waller, Cooks. There goes Pacheco off board. Bateman Flowers, Elijah Moore. Well, we are on the clock. I'm wondering. We're going to go full Minnesota stack. So I'm going to take Alexander Madison and go full. So we got now Alexander Madison, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson. Going to look to get Kirk Cousins, obviously, now. Don't want to miss out on him with all the Vikings that I have. Question is now, do I reach on his ADP and grab him really early? So you can see I have pick 88, and then it'll be pick 102. So I might be able to stretch and make it happen. I'd be pretty disappointed not to get him after doing all that. That's for sure. That is for sure. So we're up at 3 picks. Gabe Davis still on the board. Almost, if he's there when I'm there, it's 10 picks past ADP. That'd be pretty tough to pass up. Brandon Cooks, David Montgomery, the other Detroit running back. Already got Jamar Gibbs. He just goes. There you go, Gabe Davis. He was way past ADP, so that's good value for Austin Vander, who just took him. Oof. Alvin Kamara just goes. Boy. I'm going to go Rashad Bateman. I was debating between Rashad Bateman and Javonte Williams, but I need more receivers. I only had 4 up to that point. Bateman makes my 5th. As you can see here, we're in the middle of it, round 8, and I definitely want to continue to load up on wide receivers in such a wide receiver heavy room. As you can see, right after me, Cooks goes, Boyd goes. Again, Gelt 316. No quarterback on his roster. I'm guessing he's going to go for a Dak stack because we got CeeDee Lamb up there. We got Brandon Cooks down here. So he's making a nice little stack there. And Tex Ballas, no quarterback on his roster. So we're up in 10 picks. All right. We got 10 picks. Let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs. What's going on with them? Got to visit the White House. I don't know if you saw the clip with Kelce. Phenomenal. Absolutely hilarious. Trying to take the mic. Mahomes telling everybody no, sorry, pushing him away. Pretty awesome stuff. But I think that day was pulling on everybody's heartstrings a little bit, seeing all the Instagram posts, all the Chiefs that are either still not signed or have moved on. The Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman, Juan Thornhill. I don't know if Juan was there, actually. I think he was. But Frank Clark was the big one, obviously. Everybody's hoping that they bring him back or whatever. obviously taking a bunch of pictures with all the boys and stuff. Took a hilarious picture of Chris Jones completely zonked out. You'd love to see that, but he's another name. I mean, he obviously would be an interesting name for them to bring back. We talked about it if you go back on a couple of my episodes. So I think I put this as episode 2, but I think this is actually episode 3 because I did a deep dive into the offensive state of the roster and the defensive state of the roster. So this is actually episode 3 because I missed last week because of the technical difficulties. So that's where we are with that. And as you can tell, my head is a little crazy. So we're coming up here in 3 picks. We got Anthony Richardson, Jameson Williams, Dak Prescott, Juju Smith-Schuster, Njoku, Zach Charbonnet. But, of course, we're looking at Kirk Cousins. And I think that is exactly what we're going to do because I don't want to push it and have him not come back to us. So we're going to make this pick, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to finish the second half of the draft. So as you can see right now, we got 1-2-5-1 build as of right now. Our quarterback is Kirk Cousins. My running back, Jamar Gibbs, Alexander Madison. Receivers, Stephon Diggs, Chris Olave, DeAndre Hopkins, Jordan Addison, and Rashad Bateman. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson. I like where this build is going. This is definitely different than I've been building. That is for sure. I just don't have much Minnesota exposure. Like I said, I had basically no TJ Hawkinson up to this point. I had some Alexander Madison, but not a ton. So Zach Charbonnet just goes off the board. So does Anthony Richardson. And then Jared Goff goes. So that was an interesting little stack. I was thinking of it as a second one. Juju Smith-Schuster, Daniel Jones, Odell Beckham, Devin Achane. Man, this is ugly. These receivers are so ugly right now. I am going to reach all the way down for Sky Moore. I don't like Juju. I don't like Odell. I don't like Jacoby Myers. I don't like Zay Jones. I like Sky. And we can talk about that more in 1 second. And we'll be right back after we do.
What up, KC? On the heels of yet another Kansas City Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business to the local Kansas City market. We've created something called Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media hub for multiple live shows, all of which cover all the local Kansas City teams. Now, we have 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, we have event sponsorships, studio sponsorships, show sponsorships, and much, much more. This is a great opportunity for you to start early with us and broadcast your business to a very dedicated, very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. Contact me or hit the Contact Us link on our website to learn more about this opportunity.
All right, everybody, we're back. We are drafting a Puppy 2 team on Underdog. My name is Justin. I'm your host for Arrowhead Action. So this is kind of what you're going to get on my part of the Kansas City Sports Company YouTube page on Arrowhead Action. You're going to get some Chiefs talk. You're going to get NFL talk. You're going to get some fantasy sports talk. You're going to get some betting, gambling, and then fun stuff like this where we do drafts live on air. I'm up in 4 picks, picking out of the 9 hole. My team, Kirk Cousins, Jamar Gibbs, Alexander Madison, Stephon Diggs, Chris Olave, DeAndre Hopkins, Jordan Addison, Rashad Bateman, Sky Moore, and TJ Hawkinson. Got a nice little Vikings stack set up. Got a little bit of a running back run that's going on right now. Had 5 in a row, broken up by Jacoby Myers, then 2 more go. Devin Achane, Khalil Herbert. I've had a ton of Devin Achane exposure. So I probably didn't need any more of him. I'm going to get my second tight end right here. And I have no Dalton Schultz exposure, so I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz. Interesting option over for the Texans. CJ Stroud, obviously, just drafted by them. Tank Dell, who was he was one of my guys. You look at my Twitter at JDiz1617, you can see it scrolling along the bottom of the feed there. He was one of my guys. I was all over on him on Twitter. I know he's undersized. The dude knows how to run routes and play football and create separation. He's practically unguardable at the Senior Bowl that he played in. So, he's there. Nico Collins. Brandon Cook's obviously gone. He's in Dallas. Dalton Schultz makes a nice, interesting, and a second tight end. So I'm probably good at tight end. I don't think I'm going to go any more than 2 for this build. I'm going to need a second quarterback. Stroud always is an option now because of that. The quarterback situation, we're up in 1 pick, is kind of ugly, to be honest. Let's see here. I'm going to go with Derek Carr. I'm going to go with Carr. He's just okay, but gets me my second quarterback. It gets me a stack with Chris Olave, who already drafted. So I like that there. I know it's not great. It's kind of ugly, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Let me just check again. I don't have the Week 17s memorized yet. Saints play the Bucks. So chances of getting that, not great, pretty ugly. But this team is definitely different than I've drafted so far. And I've drafted a lot of teams out of the 7 to 9 spots, as I mentioned previously. So I like that. I like that, where we're headed there. So right now, we only got 2 running backs on the roster. Obviously focused heavy on the wide receivers early. We're done at quarterback. We're done at tight end. We got probably focus on the running back receiver situation still. Working, probably end up being a 5 or 6 running back build, which is pretty traditional. It's pretty good. 6 rounds left, just starting the 13th. So 6 picks left. 7 picks away. Guys on the board, Chig Okonkwo is way past ADP, pick 130. Russ Wilson, Roshan Johnson. He'd be an interesting little pick. So would Tank Bigsby. I have quite a bit of Tank as of right now. Tyler Higbee, DJ Chark, Smith, Jordan Love, KJ Osborne. We don't need any more Vikings. Got plenty of those guys. Kind of hoping that Roshan Johnson falls. But 6 picks, I don't know if that's going to happen. Well, Buster Boys, you could go running back here, but DZI Mora has 5 backs already. Chronic Man has 4 backs already. D-Shack and Gelt 3 both have 3 running backs, only 3 running backs, but Gelt 3 only has 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, so he could go somewhere. So Buster Boys goes another running back, but this time it is Tank Bigsby. I like Bigsby in Jacksonville. He's interesting. He's a good runner. Good compliment to Travis Etienne. Tyler Higbee comes off the board at 149. We're up in 3 picks. Hoping for a full of Roshan Johnson. There goes Matt Stafford. D-Shack is up. He goes Hunter Renfro. Kyler Murray comes off the board. And as we hoped, Roshan Johnson. Past 10 picks past ADP. He'll play the Vikings twice a year, which is nice. He'll play a game against Gibbs, which is nice. Just kind of some added correlation there. Maybe get some shootouts. That's the other thing. I don't know. The Vikings, man, I don't know how good their defense was horrible. I guess they can't be worse. Hopefully their defense is bad, getting some shootouts. Again, score a lot of points. That'd be good for this team. That'd be good for this team for sure. So we're up in 2 picks, and it is a wide receiver, running back heavy, or wide receiver heavy situation here. So we got Van Jefferson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, DPJ, Mims, Foreman, Rashid Shaheed. I'm going to go Jerome Ford again because I have no exposure to him. Took him a little bit early, but I'm okay with that because I wanted him. And the only running backs other than him that were on the board were Deontay Foreman, Jeff Wilson. I mean, in Cleveland, obviously Kareem Hunt, still a free agent. Ford, they used draft capital on last year. Great speed. Could be looking maybe at a passing down roll. Another year with Deshaun Watson playing again and actually practicing. So that offense still could be pretty good. So I don't mind that pick. I have, like I said, I've been trying to get him in previous drafts, and I just haven't been able to get him just the way stuff has been falling. So take him a little bit earlier than ADP. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So right now, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, my quarterbacks. Gonna go ahead and be done with quarterbacks at that situation. Then we got Gibbs, Madison, Roshan Johnson, Jerome Ford. Receivers, we got Diggs, Olave, D-Hop, Jordan Anderson, Bateman, Sky Moore. Tight ends, we got TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz, likely done there as well. So a couple rounds left here. As you see, finishing out round 14, I got 4 more picks I'm going to make. Depends on what's on the board. Could go 2 and 2 as far as 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Could maybe throw in an extra tight end. We'll see who's there. Jawan Johnson, something like that. I don't even know what his ADP is. I think he's got to be gone by now. Let's look at see. Yeah, 162. Okay, so he actually just went. There you go, 168. So he could have been an interesting little stack. Let's see what Saints are there. So Rashid Shaheed just went. So left. I mean, we could throw in a Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau. Awesome to see him doing well, but that would probably be it. I mean, maybe a late round flyer on A.T. Perry. I mean, Michael Thomas, who knows? Like I said, we saw him practicing today, but he's pretty ugly. He hasn't played in a long time. So probably if we do anything, probably Hill or Foster Moreau. Likely if we do anything with the Saints, it'll be Taysom Hill. Again, the Saints play the Bucks. I don't know if there's anybody on Tampa Bay worth drafting. Probably not. No, there's not. Maybe a Kate on for a late round flyer. Doesn't seem likely. Who is the Bucks quarterback in that ugly offense? There was highlights the other day. I don't know if you saw that. It was a disaster. So we are up in 2 picks. This would be if we wanted Taysom, we could take Taysom. We got running back like Zeke. Don't know where he's going to end up. So that could end up being super interesting. Interesting thought here is Dawson Knox, who I have basically none of, and I have a lot of Dalton, Cade, and Cade. So I could make this a 3 tight end build. Also have Chuba Hubbard there, who I kind of like. Obviously, they have Miles Sanders, who they picked up. I'm gonna go Dawson Knox. I said I was gonna be done at tight end, but I think that's a pretty interesting 3 tight end build with Hawkinson, Schultz, and Knox. I have some pretty strong wide receivers there already, so see here, 3 rounds to go. And there went Chuba just a couple picks after me, so that makes a lot of sense. Probably gonna make. Oh, let's see what we got here. Love Gus Edwards this late. Spears is pretty interesting. Josh Downs is pretty interesting. I mean, there's only 2 running backs right now in Baltimore, and you know they're going to want to be able to run the football still. I'm going to take Gus Edwards. I think he's my 5th running back. I think that's great value for a 5th running back. I think he should be higher. Got a little Baltimore stack with Bateman there. Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit, actually. I think that's a good, really good 5th running back. Really good 5th running back. Pull up the full board here. See what these guys are doing, and girls, whoever's drafting. So Tajay Spears, who I talked about and said would be interesting, came off the board right after that. Gelt 316, whoever that is, took Tajay Spears. Obviously, he gained a ton of traction during the draft. Explosive, pretty good runner. In Tennessee, obviously they have Derrick Henry, but their backup running back, whose name just escaped me that I can't think of right now, is now gone. So he could get a ton of the passing down work. As you saw, Derrick Henry never really did. Now, obviously, there's questions in that offense who they have. Their receiver situation is rough. So, it's pretty much Jalen Burks, and then who knows after that? Kyle Phillips. Yikes. Chigakakwo has a legit shot to be 1 or 2 in targets for that team. But again, then you have to worry about who's playing quarterback. Tannehill's still under contract. They drafted Malik Willis 2 years ago. Now they also have Will Levis. So, I think it's going to be Tannehill. I would be shocked unless they ended up trading him to like Atlanta or something, reunite him with Arthur Smith. But it seems like Atlanta likes Desmond Ridder to be the guy, which Desmond Ridder, man, they seem kind of, him and Tannehill seem like kind of similar players if there ever was one. We are up in 9 picks. Going to be checking that out. So, in other sports news, the PGA Tour, Live Tour, and DP World Tour all merged into one league. I don't know if I have any golf fans out there, but that was pretty wild. But we're up in 5 picks. Let's see what we got here. Curtis Samuel, Bryce Young, Josh Downs. Let's look. We're either taking running back or wide receiver. Downs, Kenneth Gainwell, Leonard Fournette, Michael Hardman, Robert Woods, Slayton. So we're up in 3 picks. Josh Downs is still sitting there. Now he's not. I was going to say he is 15 picks past ADP. Just went. Curtis Samuel is 25 picks past ADP. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I guess Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, but I mean, Samuel's not like he's a bad football player. I mean, with that ADP, did like something happen to him that I don't know? I mean, he wasn't great at the end of the year. We're up. I mean, jeez. Do I want to take him or like Tank Dell? I'm just gonna take Samuel because he's 25 picks past ADP right now and say the heck with it. Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, so last pick coming up here. Still have Tank Dell on the board. We're up in 3 picks. Tank Dell, Zach Evans are both pretty interesting names. Type Kyron Williams is an interesting name for the Rams. So there goes Tank Dell. Okay, so we're up here. Let's see. Do I want Evans, Terrace Marshall? I'm going to go with Kyron Williams. All right, Kyron Williams, interesting name of Los Angeles. He's a name, if you listen, the coaching staff keeps talking about him. The money that they gave him, stick around, is interesting. You know, everybody's on Zach Evans. Obviously, they have Cam Akers, but I think Kyron Williams is going to be a guy that's going to be involved. So, especially passing wise, which obviously we like passing, pass catching running backs because of their PPR value. So, finish out the team: Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. Running backs: Jahmyr Gibbs, Alexander Madison, Roschon Johnson, Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards, Kyron Williams. Wide receivers: Stephon Diggs, Chris Olave, DeAndre Hopkins, Jordan Addison, Rashad Bateman, Sky Moore, Curtis Samuel. Tight ends: T.J. Hockenson, Dalton Schultz, and Dawson Knox. This is a team that I don't think I don't have any Dalton Schultz. I don't know if I have any T.J. Hockenson. Dawson Knox maybe one share. Curtis Samuel like none. Very interesting build. Very interesting. Jerome Ford, I don't have much of. So I like the sense that it's a little bit different than what I have been getting in all these other drafts. So hope this was fun for everybody. My name is Justin. This is Arrowhead Action. You're on the Kansas City Sports Company YouTube page. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Put in the comments, where do you think that this draft went well for me, or tell me where you think went wrong. You can also follow me on Twitter, as you've been seeing it stream on the ticker down here, at JDiz1617. I got a lot of takes about a lot of things on there. So appreciate everybody being with me, and I will talk to you soon.